Alright, I thought I'd make this update because I didn't get any running driving footage like I wanted to on that Wednesday and Thursday. And now that it's turned off cold, but we're supposed to have a fairly warm weekend, maybe this weekend, I can get this thing out and get some footage of it. I did have to make a change, and this is only out of the kindness of my heart for my neighbors. You can see it looks a little different. There's not a 90, then a 90. It's now 3.5 inch U-bend going into a bigger stainless muffler, which comes out, has a 4.5 inch exit to the elbow to the tip. Yep, that is a hose clamp holding it. This side, I have to finish wrapping this one more layer because I'm going to double wrap it. I've got a heat blanket that's going to go on top of this. I'll show you on the other side here, but I'm going to use those turbo things here, and the heat blanket will come all the way back around to there and wrap around that. Here's this side. It's double wrapped all the way back to there. Same sweeping elbow. Both sides are exactly the same. This side you could flip it and fit that side you flip it and fit this side. I went ahead and put my wrap back around where the V-band is. I'm using this. I'm going to have to move these. One of these hoses is just going to have to get pushed over, and I'll probably most likely just zip tie it to the one next to it, and it'll be out of the way. See if I can turn the light on. There we go. Just zip tie this one over here on top of that one, and it'll be plenty enough out of the way. With this being double wrapped, and then this on here as well. I'm going to see if one of them heat blankets will make the curve, because it wraps all the way around the pipe. If it does, I'll use it and just take these off. But these mufflers are a little bit quieter. They're a straight through muffler. They just got a little bit more absorbent material in them to soak up some of the noise. But it's going to stay like it is now. I'm not doing it again. I bought a bend kit because I thought about doing something, and I seen them do this on that Project Lime Dime truck on the Motor Trend shows. What they did is they used these kind of headers, but they come way farther forward, and they come down above the control arm, went down through this curved in pocket right here in the frame, and then went under the truck and back. I don't want to do that. I thought, I could do it, put a cutout in it, let the cutout come to the fender exit and go down, but I don't want all that extra pipe and stuff up here in the damn way, because then trying to get to the plugs with that down here, right here, would be an absolute pain in the ass. So I just it's a 5-inch bodied muffler. It's a 3.5 inch inlet. It's a 4.5 exit, and it had a 90 kind of a turn down on the end of it. I cut it back part way right at the weld, so it was thick material, and then welded my elbow, which is stainless, into it, and the tip, and out. I know they're kind of big, but it was either that or a set of Moroso spiral flow mufflers I had, and these were the quieter of the two after we slipped them on and listened to it. It still rumbles. It's a deeper tone, bass tone than it was before, but it did knock the noise down a little bit. So even my neighbor, who hasn't said anything, says, yeah, that's quite a bit quieter. I like that. But I'd start it, but I've run it dry on fuel and took all the race fuel out, and it's got gasoline in it now, a 93, just set for the winter. But if I get it out this weekend, I'll drain all that out. A little bit of 93 in the lines ain't gonna hurt nothing. Got the other catch can on instead of dash 6 with that adapter and all that crap. Dash 10 line, which runs into the intake valley for another breather line. Played with the carburetors a little more to basically get the two idle screws synced together, where one's not a little more than the other. But we played around with these things for a whole day. I changed power valves, we changed jets, changed air bleeds, and got them dialed in finally. It had a little bit of a hesitation off idle, but if you brought it up to about 2 grams and punched it, then it come to life. But I wanted to get rid of that hesitation, and we accomplished that with changing some things inside the carburetors. There's the other can, which runs off the valve covers. But instead of a tight 90 and a tight 90, I figured the U-bend out of the exhaust kit I bought had 4 U-bends, 4 90s, 4 45s, and 4 sections of straight pipe, 4 foot long. I figured the U-bends was more of a gradual sweeping curve for the exhaust to follow through the muffler, which has 3.5 inch internal bore in it. Like I said, it's just like a glass pack. If you would look at it unwrapped, it kind of reminds you if you went and looked up a Pipes M80 muffler with a 3.5 inlet, 3.5 through here, and then the 4.5 out the back. That's what it is. I got the Blazer pushed back there for now. I got a small block, a 4-volt main, late model small block. I went to the pick and pull and got. It turns over, looked in the cylinders, everything looked good. Said run on the windshield, so we're going to start on probably after Christmas. It'll go to the machine shop. I got to get the crank rods and stuff. I'm going to put that TCI Street Fighter behind it, and we're just going to build a nasty small block for this. I'm going to take the digital gauge cluster out, put it on eBay or something for sale or Marketplace. Heater box. I'm going to have a heater on this one, but I'm going to take the AC box off. I've got a couple non-AC heater boxes. I'm going to put one on it. And we'll get working on this. In between working on this one, my son found a round body. We got it bought. We just got to go get it. He found a roller for $600. It's got one little rust spot in the rocker down here. The thing about it is somebody primered the whole truck out, but there's no rust or dents anywhere else on it. The interior in it's in really good shape. So he said he could live with the primered up look for now. But things to come on this is, of course, the door panels for it. I gotta get the halo bar put in and these bars put in yet. Plastic molding. I was thinking about putting back on the fenders, but I'm still undecided on it. I don't know if I'm gonna do a roll pan, or I'm going to see if I can't find a fiberglass Gen 1 Blazer rear bumper. I like them because they're smooth. And do that conversion. If not, I'll just put a metal one on it. Yeah, there's part of the exit that I cut off. There's the mufflers that were on it. It's right there. There's the other one. But we're going to do the bed cover over the winter for it. Get the nitrous put on it. I got an anti-roll bar to put on it. I think it's a TRZ is what it is. It's for an S10 anyway. But get the air-fuel ratio gauge put in it. I'm just going to go with 1. Everybody's saying I only need 1, not 2. So we're just going to go with 1, which means I'll have to weld another bung in because I don't have the elbow on there no more. They had the bung in it from the Holly. But I was really hoping to get this thing to a point where I could rip it apart this winter and repaint it. I really did. And do the body work right on it. There's no rust to speak of. I put cab corners and rockers in this thing way back when this body was on the 4-wheel drive chassis in the very early videos. But when we painted it, I had decals on the door and it pulled the paint, and I should have cleaned that up a little better and took a little bit better time doing things. But at the point in time when I was painting it, my MS was bothering me. I didn't feel good and I just wanted to get it done. So, and it looks good for what it is. I mean, Duplicolor touch-up paint and Duplicolor engine enamel. It's just got war wounds through the years. My grandson, I think, did that one. And did that one. But I've chipped the top of this all up with my bibs, the buckles on my bibs, leaning over it. But we got this to quit leaking. All we had to do was put, like that guy said in one of the forums I read, cut some shims out of an antifreeze jug and put underneath the rubber cap, sealed it up to quit leaking. So that's a good little thing to know. It worked fine. We put 2 under each one and it quit. Truck's running good, everything's good. Did have a problem with the clear coat starting to peel where the seam's at. So, which I figured that would happen, but ain't no big deal. If it peels off, I'll just touch it up with some black nail polish or something. Yeah, I use nail polish to touch up stuff if you can get a simple basic color. But it's just, you can see like right there, if I get in here close, it's just lifting from where the seam's at. And I thought, well, is it got a vacuum leak right there? But it don't. I went around it with a can of ether while it was running. It never picked up on idle, so no. I just noticed how much my skull stained fingers are. That's the 2 fingers I use to get the skull out of the can. Yeah. But everything else is doing good. Doing good. We're a little concerned because the lifters were making a little bit of noise, and they're Howard's roller lifters. They're the full race hydraulic roller. I called them and talked to them, and he said, well, he said they will for a while. He said after about 500 miles they should quit. But they're that anti-pump up race lifter. And he said actually what's making a little bit of chatter I hear is the link bars, which that I know. But they make it when they're cold, and then once it gets at about 160, it slowly goes away. 180, it's gone. And I've noticed now the more that we've run it, the less it does it. So, and I've already changed oil in it once, and there wasn't nothing in it. Wasn't no metal or nothing in it. A little metallic, which is normal. It's all brand new. But it's got the king coated bearings. I put the best bearings. I put really good rods in it. It's got Cali's chromoly forged H-beam rods. It's got a Cali's Magnum crank. It's been gun drilled and polished. It's got JE pistons in it instead of the SRPs, thanks to my foobar not following across the chart and when I ordered them. And we were stepping up to the JE to a better piston anyway. That hybrid piston they got that's between, don't quote me on these numbers, a 2816 and a 4032. It's like in between. You get the quality, the performance of the lower silicon piston, but you get the fitability of the higher silicon pistons. You don't have piston slap and all that. But had to turn the fuel pump pressure regulators up to get the fuel pressure up. We got that done. It kept wanting to hover around 4.5, and now we've got it turned up to 7 on each one. Changed the shift knob because I hate T-handles. That's off the old shifter that was in here, off my B&M. But yep. Did have one foobar that I never put in any of the videos. Is I think if I said something way back that we had the stock S10 drive shaft in this thing. Well, I got a little courageous with the trans brake, and we ended up snapping. It twisted the drive shaft tube. It didn't tear it in two, but it twisted it, like twisted it, and it snapped the companion flange at the U-joint on the 8.8. So now it has chromoly drive shaft in it. It's got Sonex yokes on both ends. So I did a $4,000 trans brake launch, and it held up. So, but I had to adjust the cow tracks because it wanted to go left a little bit. And we got that fixed where it leaves straight. But like I said, I didn't build this to race. This is my therapy. I've wanted to do this since I owned my very first S10 that I V8 swapped way back in the early 90s. before any of the kids were born or anything, is I wanted the big block tunnel ram one, or big block with a roots blower on it. And toward the end, because of all the money I put into this and buying that badass FTI transmission, I didn't have the money at that time to buy a roots blower. So we just went with this. And I was looking for one of these particular tunnel rams before we ever put the motor in here, and I couldn't find one. So that's why I put that YN Track Warrior intake on it. You can always get rid of a square port single plane big block intake. You can always sell them. Somebody's always wanting one. So,
Yep.
all the little ties they give you with the high temp wrap. And that lava wrap, that shit itches you worse than the fiberglass does. They say it ain't fiberglass, but back window did good. It didn't crack or nothing. So, anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know I'm okay. I had the house opened up and it come on the cold weather, and I had to bust ass to get the house closed back up, which I got it done just in time. I've then been helping some family members out, so, and running back and forth from here to there, which is quite a lengthy drive. I just gone all weekend this weekend, gone all weekend last weekend. So, anyway, but yeah, we're gonna get all this done. Get it up on jack stand so we don't have no flat spots from it setting. I might bring out the bead locks and we'll test fit them with the slicks and see how they fit, because they're an 8 with a 6-inch back spacing, where this is an 8 with a 5.5. So, but scoot this over and get my son's truck on this side. Like I said, this Blazer's going to sit back here till I actually get the engine built and I'm ready to set it in. I got to get the frame cleaned up some more and painted, and some other stuff off of it, some stuff put back on it, and start doing that. Probably put a set of cow tracks and just a mini spool in the back. It's got a 342 gear in it according to the sticker in the glove box, so that might change later on, but I'm just going to make a little hot rod out of it. Screw it. So, why not? I got a daily. I don't need another daily. I thought about making it a daily, and of course you go through 900 different decisions when you build something till you figure out what you want, and then it changes as you're building it. So, but hopefully in a couple of years I can get this building tore down and a new metal building put up. But my son and I got some Panda plastic. It's like 6 mil. Well, looks like over there either the squirrels got it or something, but we put it up all around the wall in here, the ceiling, covered up the entrance going upstairs for now. Ain't nothing up there I need. I can still go in and go through the window upstairs off the roof if I really need it. It's an insulated poly tarp up over them doors. I gotta tuck it up a little better and weight it down. But like right now out here, just putting that up, and all of this is insulated. I redid that wall 5-6 years ago. Tore it completely out, jacked the roof up, had to held up with jacks, replaced that whole wall, and put it back 2x4 on 12, and I doubled up every other 2x4. Double sill plate, double ceiling plate, floor plate. But then we insulated it. This wall was already insulated, as that one was insulated, and then I just put OSB over it. But my little heater, I picked up the thrift store for $1. Little Vornado electric heater. It's like 28, 29 degrees outside, and I bet it's probably 45 in here. You can't see your breath.